full screen there? Cool. It's like showing up weird on my computer. All right. So again, welcome back. Our pictures on here are a little outdated because we haven't seen y'all in a while. But we need to change that. Some fancy transition right there. Okay. So like I said, we're going to go over some official club information. Look at the official members per club. So that's including they paid their insurance and filled out their player participation. I'm thinking there's probably gonna be a lot of questions on this one. So if you have any like specific questions or you'd like me to send the roster of all of the individuals that have paid and done their player participation, I can do that for you. I could also send you everyone who's just done their player participation because we have quite a few clubs that people have just filled out their form and not have paid their insurance. We're starting, it's a slow start for everyone, so that's totally understandable, but we just want to make sure that everyone that's going to your practices are official members. So we'll look at that on the next slide. And then one thing I've been working with some clubs that are here on confirming your inventory and your workbooks. So if I haven't reached out to you already and you have equipment that's housed in the rec center or at the voting center, I'll be reaching out to someone in your club soon about that. And then we'll also be going into an equipment manager discussion a little later too. All right. Nathan, do you want to review this slide?
All right, so what we're doing is, first of all, we want to make sure, that you guys are on board. There's some clubs that look like they're not going to be coming back. I'm sure, you're going to probably have some questions, but with that in mind, you guys are still here, and what we first priority is to make sure that we have our base of officers, and then second priority for you guys to give an opportunity to your club to be able to obtain the official members, to be an official club, as well as to be able to utilize the funds that you've been issued. So essentially what you're doing is you're making sure that you have, your minimum club members before any money would be spent, and then we're able to facilitate new members for all of you to bring on as many individuals as possible. But once we break out the official status of saying like, hey, the 2 week window is really sort of, it's the deadline, for us to make sure that you get the minimums. And then, there's a few clubs that are hurting, and you can see which ones. Now, with that said, is that we've had clubs come and go, and we've had clubs, come back. But with that in mind, we'll probably, we have the leniency right now just because of COVID. However, based on dues and everything, what will happen is, so for example, if we have to cancel out of leagues, a lot of the leagues will have penalties, as well as you have to start from scratch over to begin again. And that's what we'll have to do. So just like you're starting a club, we're gonna say like, hey, like lacrosse, if you're unable to obtain your minimums, then we're open to helping you as much as we can. However, you're going to have to start over again, and you're going to have a time frame where you have to prove that you're able to sustain. So what does that mean to you? Well, what it means to you guys is that you guys are the standing clubs, and it's sad for me to see clubs come and go, but then, what it really says is the clubs that stick around are the ones that are the most viable, as well as, in demand for CI students. And that's what it comes down to, is making sure that we're offering these opportunities to students and CI students to give them the benefit. And it's really on the students. And when we first started, it's always been, these are student run clubs. Campus Rec is here to help assist you in managing the clubs and to be able to, to approve your allocations, etc. I just, encourage you guys to, always reach out to those that, need more members because they are struggling. But with that said too, it gives you an opportunity to really focus in on what's important for your club and why people are keep on coming back, and really focus in on your strengths and the benefits that you're offering CI students. Now when you see a lot of people coming out, that's definitely a sign that you're doing something right. But we also want to say to the clubs that are struggling, it might be a real slight adjustment of what they need to do to get out a different message or be able to offer a different benefit. But then just like in businesses, right? Like 50% of small businesses fail. And the reason is maybe there's just not a demand for the product. But I want to leave that up to you guys to kind of think about and really, kind of look at your clubs and what you're doing right and wrong, and really try to share with others that follow you guys, what the recipe is for success as a club. It's definitely going to be satisfying, like when you're coming back 10 years from now, if your club's still standing, because we've seen a lot of clubs come and go. So with that, I encourage you, and I hope that you can pat yourselves on the back just by making it this far, because this COVID situation's been real tough on a lot of people. And so there's a couple clubs that aren't here, but that's going to be a telling sign too, because a lot of you that I see in the picture are the diehards and the ones that are here consistently, as well as you have a work ethic and a routine, and it's going to be something that's going to make you successful in the future, as well as what makes you successful now. So I just want to commend you on that. So we're in it at this phase, and I just look forward to seeing where you guys go with it. This is an opportunity to grasp what you guys are all about, and if members aren't going to one club, then bring them over to yours. Okay.
Thanks, Nathan. Okay, so I just want to reemphasize that this is the number of people that have paid and done their player participation. I know a lot of you are in the period of tryouts, so that's basically a recruitment period. So it's okay that you don't have that full amount, but before you begin official practices, you need 5 people that are official. Also, this was updated as of yesterday afternoon, so numbers might vary a little bit. You might have a little bit more than what's on here. All right, so let's go to the next slide. Or not. There we go. Okay, so office hours. We have, like I mentioned before, we have 2 new student staff. They're very brand new, and they're still learning the ropes with all the sports club information, as some of you are. So Devin and Jello are going to be assisting you guys. Their office hours are coming soon, because I'm still trying to teach them everything that they need to know in order to help you guys to the best of their ability. So just know they're your people, and office hours will be announced soon. I put mine on here. I don't have Nathan's, I'll let him chime in, but this is typically when you'll find me in the office, anywhere from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. I'm usually out by 4:30. You can call me, you can email me, you can text me ahead of time, just so you don't walk over here and I don't happen to be here when you're looking for me. But I'm also totally fine with drop-ins too. If I have the time, I will stop and help you guys out with anything that you need. And then I put that I only answer texts during my office hours. So you text me after 4:30, you might not get an answer. I might just forget. So do you want to chime in, Nathan, for office hours for you?
Yeah, I really like to work with Outlook, the calendar, and you guys can always schedule a meeting with me if you need to, but feel free to call me at the extension 3266. It's 805 437-3266. And then, as my cell phone number is on the, the phone tree, so you guys can go ahead and call me there. I just ask that you, respect my, my personal time. However, I want to hear from you guys. If you, if the time, if you need to give me a call me and just let me know, like, how are things. And but if you do have any doubts, I would prefer that you call me and not just be afraid that I'm, not going to want your call, because I really want to talk to you guys if you have something on your mind. Okay.
Awesome. We are here for you all. So go ahead, please contact us.
Especially these awesome people here.
Yes. All right. So next, I'm just going to go over some scheduling confirmations, just a refresher on when we're going to be having our meetings. I also threw up practices, performance/games, and then equipment checkout. For the practices and performance and games, I want you all to check out our Google Calendar, which you can find by going to the sports club. You can't find it there, but go to the campus rec page, and there's a big blue button that takes you right to the calendar. That's the easiest way to get it. Basically, it's just going to list out all your practices and all your events that you have. Some of the newer events that just got approved haven't been put on yet, but that's something that if you see it, just let us know, and then we'll make sure we add that for you. And then for equipment checkout, I think I have something else on this a little later. But if you have reoccurring equipment requests, then, for example, soccer, then you can just come to the front desk and identify yourself. You can use your student ID card if the front desk people don't recognize you by now. And then the student staff are going to take you to the equipment room and grab that equipment with you, so you can walk with them there. We just don't want them giving you all the key, just to minimize the possibility of losing it. Nothing against all of you. And then if you have an equipment checkout request for any special event, then that is when you're going to do an equipment form and fill that out online. And I'm pretty sure I have a little bit more about that later, so we can answer questions if anyone has questions. Here we go. It's right here. So equipment and vehicle request form. So any special events where you're going to need like speakers or tables or chairs, you're going to fill out a request for that. And then the weekly pickups, you're just going to stop by the front desk and then sign out the equipment in the red binder. Any questions?
Yeah, I want to share with you guys, if you are having a special event, and it's really important for whether it's, let's say, like lights or like table tents or whatever it is, I just ask that you guys confirm with us. We'll send out the approval, but it's always great when you can connect with even a student assistant that might be able to help you out, set you up for success for your event. So then we can put all the items that you guys are going to pick up into our checkout area. And with that said, then that they're working with you, and then confirm with them that everything's ready to go. So there's not kind of a uncertainty when you arrive at the front desk. So if you can work with us to follow up, and if you're not getting any type of follow up, from our student assistants or us, then please let us know with an email, so then we can just confirm, that your items are ready, or that we have it scheduled with a specific person.
Okay. Khadijah, you have a question?
Yeah, so I know with volleyball, we're going to be doing beach days for 2 days, basically Saturday and Sundays. Does that mean that I can check it out Friday night and then still have it overnight Saturday and Sunday? Okay. Yeah. Also, my second question is, with that, does that mean that I need to do the the equipment request form with that, or am I able to just make one request form for every Saturday, Sunday until the semester ends?
Yeah, we can work together on that for your specific needs, but I'm thinking that we can do one request form, but we're just going to list all of the dates that you're going to need it.
Okay. Yeah.
Sweet. Hannah, did you still have a question?
Yeah, well, I think Nathan answered it. I was just going to say, like, if we, like, for tryouts, if we wanted to request like an easy up, like a canopy, if you had one, we could send someone else to bring it.
Yeah, you'll just detail in the request who's gonna be picking up the equipment.
Okay.
If you want to
Gotcha.
do that, yeah. And then one thing, if we are doing beach days, we just want to be super, super careful with our EZFs because sometimes the sand gets in there. We have one that won't go down because of the sand, so.
Yeah, no, believe me, I understand that.
Yeah, I think the surf club still has ours out there, and I think it's still in the water under the point. I'm just thinking we were missing one a long time ago, and I don't know if it's surf or what, but anyway, just if you guys see it out in the water, let us know.
Shipwrecked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Just like anything, it's all of our equipment, right? Like, and so just take care of it, and let us know if things break or if something needs to be repaired, etc. We want to know about it rather than just sweep it under the rug type of stuff. So please enjoy it. I mean, there's a lot of equipment. I'm really looking forward to making sure that you guys know all the different items that you do have, because I'm thinking that some of the newer officers might even forget. I mean, I've been wearing these new like cheer bows and all this stuff that I'm hoping they know they have a couple things in the boxes, etc. But anyways, all right, Lauren, take it away.
Okay, let's keep it going. All right. So next we're just going to skim over the schedule. This is something that we sent you over the summer, but you can also access it on the Sports Club webpage. It's like right at the top. You can download it as an Excel file. So our workshops that we have this semester, we're doing a travel paperwork workshop on the 29th of this month. This is really important if you're new to travel paperwork as an officer and want to understand it better. But we also use it as an opportunity to certify other members of your club if they want to assist with travel paperwork. So let's say that your executive council is a little, it's stretched thin with everything else that you're handling. If you have anyone in your club, a regular member that's willing to be certified in travel paperwork, this is the workshop you're going to send them to. In addition, we also have our amazing advancement group, University Advancement, that are going to do our fundraising and sponsorship workshop. They do this every year. It's super beneficial. It's really cool to hear their different ideas and just like strategies of how to go about fundraising and donations and sponsorships. And we also group this with other clubs and orgs. So it might be a good networking opportunity for some of your groups to connect with other clubs on campus and see what they're doing. Any questions on our workshops? Okay. And then our other council meetings, so similar to today are going to be October 27th and then November 10th. All of these are Wednesdays. And as of right now, we have everything on Zoom, just because like different places on campus have been a little hard to reserve because of like COVID protocols. So as of right now, everything's still going to stick with Zoom for the semester. And then some deadlines to put on your radar. I highly suggest that you pick someone in your club or have a volunteer from your club to become an equipment manager, because one of our COVID protocols that we're going to be going over is sanitation of equipment. It could be a big job, so maybe having a few people to help out would be a good idea. But I want to have every club pick at least one person from your club to be in charge of the inventory. So not only like knowing what you have as a club, but also someone's willing to help keep it clean and like nice for the semester. And that goes for if you have inventory to take track of. So like surf club, you all have individual equipment. So this does not apply to you. All right, and then we have another deadline the same day, the 29th, for an executive council member. So this is one person from your club that can attend all of the council meetings. And it's a good idea to have one alternate as well. So I want the name of the person that's going to be coming to the meetings and then your backup. Next, we have a volunteer coach deadline. This is a soft deadline, or if you're planning to get a volunteer coach or you already have one, we want to make sure that the paperwork's all submitted by the 1st of October. So all returning coaches must have their paperwork completed by this date. And then the other point for the first is if you are a club that necessitates eligibility forms for your league, you have to have all of your info to us by the 1st of October. So we can make sure that that gets submitted to your league in time. Any questions about deadlines? Okay. On to the next, some announcements. This is a very outdated picture here. So next we're just going to go over different things that we're going to be putting in place for practices, which include like sanitation methods. And then also, I actually think I'm going to leave games out for today because we still have to get a little more info until it's clear. But one thing I do want you to know is that Nathan and I are compiling a document where it's going to outline everything that we're talking about. So as soon as we have that squared away, we're going to make sure that everyone has access to it, and you're able to reference that in all of the different points. So to start, for practices, like we've already announced, masks are required indoors. If you're outdoors, you don't have to wear masks. But one thing we're adding is that if you're outside and just like hanging in a group, not actively playing, we'll ask that you do wear masks. Does that make sense for outside practices, people here? Okay, if you're in like tight groups having like a team meeting before you start actually participating and running, then we want to make sure that you're like staying safe. Khadija, do you have a question?
Yeah, so if we're off campus and we're doing like beach, for instance, beach volleyball, because we're in a close proximity, do we need to wear masks?
Good question. Off campus. I would say since you're outdoors,
just protect yourself, you know, like, and make sure, because there's different tolerances, and I think that's what's most important is that you protect yourself, and you know, that you're taking care of your club to give them, you know, an opportunity to wear a mask so they don't feel out of place, like if they decide to.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that helps. I mean, just
yeah. Let me rephrase that as well. We're highly suggesting outdoor, if you're in a group setting and not actively playing, that you wear a mask. It's not mandatory. The school is not requiring us to do that. It's just an extra measure that we're taking to make sure that you guys are all safe. And then another re-emphasizing that there's no maximum occupancy for indoor practice. And then one new thing that is going to be starting tomorrow is that we are requiring a sign-in for every official practice. So we are going to be supplying each of your clubs with a clipboard and a stack of papers. And it's basically a list where everyone that comes to your practice is going to have to sign their name. So first and last, everyone that's coming to your practice should already have signed their player participation and paid their insurance. So in the event that we needed to reference their ID number or their contact information based off of that list, we'll already have it. So that's why it's really, really important, not only for the safety of your players, but it's just really important to have their player participation and their insurance on file. So the reason why we're doing this is the school policy now states that all events require implementation of an RSVP check-in system that can facilitate notification and contact tracing in the event of a confirmed COVID-19 case on campus. So that's why we're doing it. There's a good reason for it. Super important just to make sure that everyone signs that list for every practice.
Is it a physical signature, or can we just check box it?
It's a physical signature.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. For right now.
Yeah.
We could change it up, but we're just going to start with that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And then I think that is all for practices. Does anyone have any questions about practices and the structure of practices with protocols? Okay. Alexis.
Okay, I have a quick question. Yesterday, we had like a situation where a girl asked about medical exemptions for vaccination status. Is there like a proper like protocol we need for that? Because I know we have to get tested weekly to be on the team. So what would we do with someone who has a medical exemption?
So that wouldn't change anything. That's a really good question. That person or that individual would be required to do weekly testing anyways. So as long as they're following what they need to be doing, that's okay. And then you bring up my next point of the weekly testing for everyone. I know that's something I put on your radars, but that's something that we haven't gotten officially figured out from the school yet. So for those of you that maybe missed that, one of the requirements for all sports clubs is going to be a weekly test for every member. So that's something coming through the pipeline. It just isn't something solidified yet. So as soon as we get information for that, we will let you know. Does that answer your question, Alexis?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Could you do another question?
They also mentioned that they're supposed to give us individual kits, but I'll wait to see it before I believe it. But anyways, hopefully the test kits come out as well as the process, and we'll look forward to being able to get you that information once we receive it.
So my question was, okay, so even if we're vaccinated, you're going to have us be required to take a test weekly. Is that basically what am I right? Okay.
Yes, you're correct. And that's,
Okay.
that's coming from environmental health and safety. So I think it's just because it's like consistent across the board that other CSUs are doing that for their club sports as well. So we're waiting on their go for that.
Yeah, because you guys are a sports club, so we want to make sure that we're following the guidelines of all the other sports clubs.
Yeah. Okay. I just wasn't sure because we have a lot of people, so I'm trying to see how we could do that effectively. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, totally understandable. I mean, sometimes it feels a little disjointed. Everything does because we're getting things in pieces. But Nathan and I, along with Mike and environmental health and safety, we're gonna try to find the most streamlined way for all of you to keep it somewhat organized in the chaos of everything that's going on. So I just remembered I did put an example of the practice roster. So this is what it looks like. Some of you might have, I think there's 40 spaces on the sheet. It goes down more. Some of you might have more, so you're just gonna have to flip that page over if your practices are larger than that. All right, any more practice questions? Okay. The next thing leads me into equipment sanitation. So if you have anything housed at the voting center or at the rec center, after your practices, we're just asking you to do a really quick sanitation of the stuff that you've used. So for example, after volleyball, making sure that the balls are sprayed down, wiped down real fast before they're put away. It doesn't have to be super in-depth cleaning. It's just like a quick thing that makes sure that the stuff's ready to go for next time. So in order to help with this, we have, if you've worked out in the rec center, you might have seen these little carts. Well, this is a sports club cart. We're gonna have this in our lounge, our break room. So it's gonna have on the top spray bottles. The one that's marked cheer is specifically for cheer club because it's a very highly concentrated liquid for the cheer mats. So that's what they're gonna use. But the other bottle marked solution is for every other general piece of equipment. So the second rung has clean towels, and then the bottom has all the dirty towels. So this is something we can roll out real fast and have you guys clean your equipment before it's returned. Questions on that?
Yeah, we're gonna have little floaties for surfing and sailing. So that'll be ready for you, but give us a week on that one.
Hey,
We're
we'll
still
have a
trying to figure out how to
Flowtopia
attach it.
We'll do a Flowtopia where people can bring pool floaties in the ocean.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Okay. So I mentioned before that travel is still something that's being worked on. So we'll see what our protocols are going to be for that. And then my last piece is if you have any home games on campus, we're going to, again, encourage the players to wear masks when they're not actively playing. That goes for the away teams as well. We're just going to notify them of that. And then all volunteer coaches and staff that are working the event, so campus rec staff and our athletic trainers are going to be required to wear a mask. Any questions on home games? I know there's only a few clubs here that have them, but okay, cool. Now I'm going to leave it up for any questions on anything if anyone has that, because that brings us to the end of everything we have for you guys. So anything maybe we didn't bring up today that people have questions on, or the stuff we talked about?
I just have like a question again on like the paid membership. So is it like you need to have at least 5 paid members to like a certain deadline, or was that supposed to be like on the 10th?
So
I don't know if you like talked about that or not. I probably missed it.
yeah, but okay, there's different sports also, right? Like,
Mhm.
so you have individual sports, whether you're tennis or surfing or, endurance, etc. So minimum of 5 paid members before you're officially, designated as a club.
Gotcha.
With the sports, like let's say hockey, right? Like you're going to need to practice against a full team. So like whether it's like 12 or 14 with soccer, you have to make those limits with sailing. It's more of an individual sport, so minimum is 5. Endurance 5. Volleyball, you need to make sure that you're able to practice, etc. So for every club it's going to be unique, but before you're going to be able to spend any money.
Yeah.
But at this time, you guys, or if you've made it to the 5, you're your official club. But now, if you are a sports team, etc., you need to make sure that your members are all paid to make it to the next level, to be able to order any like uniforms or anything like that, any type of travel request, etc. So yeah, with that said, if you've made the minimum now, whoever's paid and a member of your club would be able to put in a request to travel, etc.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a quick question about the weekly COVID testing for club members. That's not in effect yet, but in the pipeline, you said?
Correct. Yeah, we were notified by environmental health and safety that was going to be required, but we have not been given the tools to implement it yet. So we're waiting on it.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
Thanks for clarifying. Any other questions? Cool. Awesome. And then, Keisha, I hope you don't mind me sharing, but just asking about insurance and player participation forms. I can send out everyone an update, or I might have Devin do that this evening. So either expect an email from Devin or myself, and that just gives you an update of the individuals that are the official members, just so you know going into practices.
Is it possible for you to send it tomorrow, like directly before our practice? Because I did send out something today, so I know a bunch of people have officially signed up, and I got text messages saying that they did. But I really want to make sure before practice that we have it, just so then I can do like a cutoff kind of.
Yeah. So I can do a 4:30, or
Yes.
it's fine with that, like a 4:30 or 5 o'clock update, just because we're not working past then. But yeah, we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, last call for questions. Sweet. All right. I really, really appreciate each of you being here today. This semester is already in full swing, I would say, and I was super excited to see all of you tabling at the Clubs and Works Fair. Forgot to mention that earlier. That was just like such a positive vibe from everyone. It was exciting to see students coming by your tables. When I was trying to like talk to some of you, I could barely talk to you because there were so many interested students. So that was really cool to see. We will see you at our next workshop. Please keep in mind those deadlines. So as soon as you know who your equipment manager is going to be, who your executive council member is going to be, send those over to us, and we'll make sure that that's recorded. So any closing comments or feelings, Nathan? Okay. We'll stick around for a minute or two if anyone wants to stay on with extra questions. So y'all have a great evening. It's good to see you.
Bye.
Thank you very much, guys.